thing I want to say is thank you so much for coming to the meeting today. This is awesome. It's the first lunch and learn for our coaching network. It's definitely something new that we have yet to try. For those of you who have been with us in the past, you know, typically our meetings have been from like 4 to 6 p.m., but this is something new and different and exciting. And so thank you for going on this journey with us here today for our lunch and learn meetings. So the idea here is you can come to these meetings. The coaching meetings are going to be every other month, and they'll be for an hour. So from 11 to 12. Typically, we're going to try to have like 30 minutes to 45 minutes or so of stuff for you. And then we'll open it up for, you know, our free conversations and those kinds of things. So we know that your role as coaches has changed drastically throughout the pandemic and through the return here back to school. So you may not only be a coach, but you may also be a substitute some days and, you know, a de facto teacher or administrator on other days. And we really, really appreciate you being here in the room with us for this meeting. So thanks so much for being here. As you can see on this slide, and as you can find in our discussion board, we have a link to these slides, and we have the attendance link as well. So please feel free to make your way over to that discussion board and access both of those links. I do also want to let you know that we've turned on the Q&A. So if you have a question or a burning question, something that you were hoping to discuss today, but you just want to type it somewhere so that you don't forget it, go ahead and put it in that Q&A. If you hear something during our discussion today and it sparks a question and you don't want to forget it, go ahead and pop over to that Q&A feature. And then at the end, then we'll address all of those questions as best we can. Okay. All right. So with that being said, let's get rolling. Welcome back. I gave you kind of the rundown here of how our meetings are going to work. I also want to let you know that in the opposite months, so obviously this is September, but in October will be the very first regional literacy network meeting. So those are kind of on our like off months here for our coaching network. Amanda, do you want to speak to that at all?
I'll just say that your administrators will let you know if they would like you to represent your district as part of the team that attends those meetings. This is something new that Jen and I and some of our other regional partners are going to be collaborating on. And so just hold tight for right now. Maybe start some discussions with some of your leaders to find out whether you are someone that they're thinking about sending and having be a part of these discussions. But right now, there's nothing else that you need to do regarding this, and we will share more information soon about that.
So, okay. So with that in mind, here is our outline for today. First things first, we're going to take care of a little housekeeping, kind of talk about some of the books that are available to you as a part of our coaching network, and just kind of a reintroduction, or for some of you, an actual introduction to who we are and what we do. Then I'm going to speak a little bit about marketing yourself and getting your name out there throughout your district and throughout your buildings. Talk a little bit about some materials that you can use to help create and construct your coaching cycles and how you can enroll teachers in a little bit more efficient way. And then lastly, we'll talk about organizing. And so how you can organize some of your things, as well as helping teachers to get themselves organized. As we think about our coaching roles, these would also be things about, you know, enrollment, about cycles, you know, how to organize your own schedules and whatnot too. So both of those items were pulled from questions that we got last year and in years previous. So by talking with them today, we hope to answer some of those questions that have come up for us. So first things first, let's talk about some housekeeping things. I'm Matthew Mays. I'm the technology curriculum consultant here at the Stark County ESC. I still very much consider myself a new coach, a baby coach in comparison to some other people, especially Amanda. But I'm learning and growing right alongside all of you. My focus here is obviously technology. So as we do things here within the coaching group, I'm always trying to think of different ways that we can wisely integrate technology so that it's not one more thing for our teachers. It's something that's actually helpful that they will actually want to use. Amanda, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Amanda Nickerson, and I'm the literacy consultant at the Stark County Educational Service Center. This is my 4th year working with the team, so I'm happy to see lots of familiar faces. I'm so glad you're all back to continue collaborating with us. We're just really excited about providing some flexibility for you. You'll hear some different voices from month to month. So Matt is going to be talking to you today. Other members of the team will lead conversations on other months. And we're just really hoping to carve out some space for continued conversations about how we can support our districts and really press into creating really strong shared leadership structures that help our students grow. So thank you for joining us.
All right, and then I'm quickly looking through the people. I don't see her on this call at the moment. I know she had another call, but Jen Griffin is also going to be with us here in that's based here in Stark County. She's the REL for State Support Team 9 and is just an absolutely incredible resource and even more wonderful person. So I'm excited for you to get to work with her as well. As we look to some other friends who are a part of our group, I believe I saw everybody. These are our friends from the TriCounty ESC. If you guys would like to unmute and introduce yourselves, I'm actually going to stop sharing just so that way everybody can see your faces as well. Go ahead.
Hey everybody, this is Andrew Johnson, and I'm joined by Jennifer Mara and Beth Gobots. We're curriculum consultants here at TriCounty ESC, so you'll be seeing us. We're all in this room together, so that's why I have my mask on right now. But we're glad to be a part of this, and we're happy with the turnout today. So thank you. Yeah,
absolutely. This is just awesome to see so many people with, especially with cameras on and whatnot too. So we love seeing that. Jen, I noticed that you unmuted Jennifer Mara. Do you want to introduce yourself too? Maybe not. That's okay too. No big deal. We'll keep moving on. The great thing about this group is we are super collaborative. So I may have mentioned there a moment ago that we're the Stark County team, and that these are our friends from the Tri-County team. But here as a part of our network, we really do everything together. So if you have specific coaching questions or things that you want to know that all 6 of us here are more than willing and happy to help you as best as we can. Especially, as we continue and we learn new things here together. So we're really happy to be here with you. I know the team there at Tri-County is really happy to be here with you today too. So this is excellent. Speaking of collaborations between the 2 of us, we have worked together to create a Google Classroom environment for you. This is specifically for any new coaches that we have to our network, but this is open to everyone. So if you're interested in doing a little bit more of a deep dive into the books that are available are available to you as a coach in our network, we have several, and I'm going to talk about those here on the next few slides. But if you go to classroom.google.com and enter that classroom code, DS roofed, as it were. At least that's how I always say it in my head when I type it out. But if you go there, then you're going to see 2 modules that are waiting for you with wonderful slide decks and some audio clips and whatnot to walk you through each of those texts. And again, if you're a returning member to our group, it provides a really great refresher, just kind of a nice walkthrough for all of the gym night texts. And then if you are new to our network, we definitely want you to check those out. And if you are new, I know we have your name on our spreadsheet here, so we'll be in contact with you a little bit more about those requirements. But we thought that made for kind of a nice way to get everybody on the same page, especially as we hopefully increase our numbers and districts continue to have more and more coaches. So speaking of those texts, there are 5 of them, and then a few of them even have like accompanying workbooks with them as well. They are all based on the works of Jim Knight. And the first one is Better Conversations, and it also comes with a reflection guide. So they look just like the picture that you see there. In Better Conversations, Jim shows us how to adopt those habits that are essential for transforming the conversations that you're having with people. And I really kind of wanted to boil it down to say, like, in this book, you will learn how to coach yourselves and each other to become better communicators, and how to listen more effectively as well. So that's a base for a lot of the conversations that we have here within our group. Another set that we have here is for the impact cycle. So this one I really like because there are all kinds of tools that are spread throughout it. The workbook is really great. There are all kinds of images that you can pull from and recreate for your own use. But it just has so many wonderful resources packed in that it can really help you dig deep with your teachers. Also, we have high impact instruction. So this is that framework, that set of tools. Again, this one has a lot of really great resources embedded within that you can easily recreate or that you can access on Jim's website. Definitely focusing on building that partnership with your teachers and kind of building those more robust teams, which is really, really great too. Focus on teaching is a little bit more digital, I would say, for lack of a better definition. Jim really tries to focus on how to use video effectively within not just your coaching cycle, but also with teachers who are trying to kind of evaluate their own teaching, and how valuable that video production and rewatching can be, which is really, really difficult. I don't think any of us particularly like the sound of our own voices in our heads. That's not how we sound, but being able to break down that barrier and watch yourself and assess some of the things that you're doing is really, really important. So Jim digs deep into that text to help you kind of focus on the video production and watching yourself teach. And then we also have unmistakable impact. This one here definitely includes stuff like your focus, clearly defined improvement plans. You're talking about school culture, really digging into some of the things, tied to other initiatives that may be happening within your school. And this kind of helps bring it all together to make sure that the things that you're doing, not just as a coach, but as a school, as a building culture, are really kind of bringing it all together. So that makes for a really, really nice kind of summative piece there. I know Amanda's been typing away too in the chat with all kinds of helpful things. So definitely make sure that you're checking that area out too. For the second part of today, I really wanted to talk about how you can market yourself. So I'm actually going to dig into a few tools, show you some things that are out there, hopefully have some things that you may not have seen before, or how to use some things in a different way. But really what I want to emphasize is you are super valuable as a person. You're not a resource. You're not anything other than you. And that's awesome. You are super valuable. And it's high time that the whole world knows it. And so the resources that I want to share with you will hopefully help you emphasize your impact, your footprint within your school district. So as we think about like how to amplify your coaching, so amplify your voice, I broke it down into like 6 different areas. So the first one here is encourage coaching. All educators can benefit from coaching, whether you're that expert teacher that's been there forever or whether you're a new teacher. Every single educator can benefit from coaching. And so by breaking down the barriers for growth and introspection, you can build a roster of really diverse educators. And that to me is like half the fun of setting up your coaching roster. So you can really create that culture of continuous improvement and driving your teacher participation with coaching. As you look to amplify your voice, you also want to set clear expectations. So outline exactly what your coaching model or what your cycles are going to look like. Many people are just going to assume that you're evaluating their teaching rather than like encouraging ways for improvement, but being able to take the time to identify the steps and the markers of successful coaching relationship, you can definitely follow through with that trust. Let them know that you're not, there to evaluate them. You're a collaborative partner to kind of raise all boats. So as you look to build your community, you can really try to stack your wins, your small wins early. That was something that I always really tried to hammer home was hitting those small wins, because when you stack up enough small wins, then those turn into very large successes. So as you're building those communities out, there's always going to be that, coalition of the willing in education. So people who, I had a principal one time call them the first penguins. So the penguins who wouldn't look into the ocean, they would just dive right in, not knowing what might be underneath, and that can be scary. But there are people in every building that are those early adopters. So take advantage of their willingness to try something new, and maybe enroll a few of them as part of your coaching roster too. Then once you get those small wins rolling, many others are going to be willing to jump on board too. So building that culture of collaboration where teachers feel empowered to share with one another and learn from one another is awesome. That's the secret sauce to coaching. I also encourage you to tell your story. And this is something that you can obviously do more or less of, depending on how comfortable you are. But humanizing yourself as that collaborative partner is really important. Both the coach and the teacher share the same goal. So all you want to do is help kids. All your teacher wants to do is help kids. So knowing that you have that the commonality can definitely help both of you, not just in your coaching relationship, but have success throughout your building too. So take control of your story, define yourself. As you think about your schools, there are a million groups that people are a part of. So, TBTs, building groups, BLTs, every other acronym you could possibly think of. Teachers are all over the place. But rarely do we actually get to know the people in those groups, right? We all have our little bubbles, our own little groups. But being able to, actually empathize with someone and say, like, who are you? What do you do? What are your likes? What are your dislikes? Those things are really important. And so being able to utilize some of those will definitely help you get your message out to your buildings, to your teachers, and to the world. So definitely make sure that you are telling your story to a level as comfortable as you might be. As a part of that, definitely highlight your strengths. So as you tell your story, it's okay to brag about your strengths, right? People aren't going to know what you're really good at or what you're really passionate about unless you tell them explicitly, right? We can't count on people to pick up on that. So definitely highlight your own strengths, especially as they relate to your coaching style. So if you're a really exceptional listener, then tell people, that that's the thing that you value. If you don't tell people, then there's a really strong chance that they're not going to know all the wonderful skills that they need to know about you. So as difficult as it is, definitely highlight your own strengths and let people know what you care about. And then connected to some of the things that we talked about there a moment ago, celebrate these small wins. So we obviously never want to violate that like coach-teacher relationship that we have, but you can always find ways to highlight those small wins based on your coaching relationship. Getting teachers who have success to like evangelize for you or to be an advocate for you and your coaching is huge. So teacher word of mouth is obviously going to push more teachers toward you and toward your coaching, which is what we're shooting for. So promoting all of that progress, and recognizing those moments of risk taking and innovation are definitely ways that we can convince people to join up on our coaching. So to help you, I have been searching all over the place to try and find different things that you can use for marketing yourself. And so I'm actually going to shrink my screen and go out of presentation mode here for just a second so that I can show you a few of those. As you look at these templates, don't necessarily think that it's a one-for-one, that because words appear in this way or that because it says a different thing, that you have to stick to it. Know that these are all templates where you can change literally everything about it if you wanted to. These are just really, really nice places to start. So the first one that I have for you is School Flipbook. So I'm going to pop this one open here and allow you to check this out. Obviously, again, if you have yet to do so, definitely make sure that you go over to the discussion area and grab the link for these slides so that way you can have your own copy of all of the items that are here as well. So I thought this was a really colorful, really fun look at kind of that the Flipbook model. So like a get to know the teacher in this aspect, get to know your coach kind of type thing. And what I really appreciate is that this one is from Slides Go. What I really appreciate is that they have taken the time to basically hold your hand and walk you through how to edit all of these slides. So we talked about a whole bunch on the previous slide, but you can start to input some of those things here on these templates. So this one here is super colorful, really engaging. I really like the artwork that was attached to this as well. And you then, using this slide, can have like these really great jumping off points. So it doesn't need to say welcome to pre-K class. It can say, introduction to your coach, or, you can put your name in there and, go to fill out all of these different sections as they're linked here throughout the slides, which is really fun. So, so generally these other ones have very similar looks, I would say. So they're different templates that you can use that obviously will allow you to share your story and to share yourself. I am going to share this last one here, the conference infographic one with you. And this, again, is just a different way to think about things. What I really liked about this set was the kind of collaborative nature of the artwork that's attached to it. So all of these designs that are found on the slides, I thought really spoke to just a really fun artistic style and, kind of a classy classroom. I don't know how else to, it's really, really nice. If you've never used something like Slides Go or Slides Mania or Slides Carnival, or I'm sure there are a whole bunch of other ones that I didn't name. If you've never used them before, basically when you go to those websites, you find the template that you want if you don't use one of the ones that I've shared with you here in this presentation, and you make a copy of it, and then you can manipulate literally everything that you want. What's nice about these as well is it contains all the information on the back end that you might need. So it has extra colors, like all the exact colors that were used throughout the presentation. They're all on there. All the extra artwork and little tiny images like this little square will be on the resources and stuff too. So there are wonderful, wonderful resources throughout all of those slide template websites. And I hope that one of these can work with you or work for you as you're trying to introduce yourself and amplify your voice throughout the district. The other thing that, as we look at some ways that people are sharing their story, maybe it's not something that you're doing necessarily on your own. Maybe you're fortunate to work in a district where you have a coaching team. Doing this together to get your name out there, or I'm sorry, to get your collective names out there, and really show the district, who you are and how you work together, is really, really powerful as well. So definitely make sure that you're checking out the link. For time's sake, I'm not going to worry about clicking on all of these, but definitely check out the link there for the Meet Our Coaching team as well. I am going to spend some time, however, on a tool that I have, I don't know, unfortunately or fortunately been obsessed with here to start the year, and that's Canva. As we look at our culture, and I'm not sure how nerdy you all want to be here at the moment, but these things called NFTs are really, really popular. So they're non-fungible tokens, which is a word you didn't need to learn today, but congratulations, you can use that one in a sentence later today. And basically, there are these online things, like almost think like trading cards that people can only collect. They only exist online. So by creating those kinds of badges or those kinds of things, we can really be creative in how we're working with teachers. So maybe, if a teacher works with you, through one cycle, maybe they get a really cool little badge or NFT in that regard. And so thinking of interesting ways to bring those in, I think it can be really fun. So Canva is a free product to you, especially as you use your Edu account, and it's loaded with all kinds of ready-made templates for you that are fully customizable and make it appear as though you've spent tons and tons of time creating these things, without giving away like all of my secrets. I know Janelle, our new county curriculum director, is here on the call too. It makes it look like you're super impressive and that you have all kinds of design skills, and you don't have to have any. You can just use these templates to create like Google Classroom headers and infographics and icons and social media posts and schedules and announcements and newsletters and everything that you've ever wanted, all in one space. So I'm sorry to Janelle, who I've been creating these things, and she's like, oh my gosh, how did you get these out so quickly? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. You can kind of play that game, but it really takes like 2 or 3 seconds to make really amazing things. So I'm sorry, that's like, I feel like I'm Oz now, like pulling back the curtain, and everybody's seeing all my secrets now. But what is really, really cool about Canva is that it's so accessible for everybody. And if you want to make really cool, like really clean and beautiful digital images, then Canva is really where it's at. So I'm actually going to pop out one more time, and we'll make our way over to Canva so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about here. So if you've never used Canva before, they are fully willing to hold your hand through the whole process. You'll notice that I'm logged in. Definitely get an account. Definitely register with your school account, because then you'll get access to all of the free things. So all you have to do is basically tell it what you're trying to do. So you'll see here, this is an educational presentation. It can help you with video editing. Here's some infographics or a poster. You can even do, like I said, like social media things or things to embed on a website. So for example, I'll do this classroom announcement one. And it has this whole template gallery, and they're all gorgeous and fun, and they're waiting for you to edit. So I've used these as like Google Site, like clickable buttons, this specific template. So what's fun is, let's say that for whatever reason, this was the picture that you wanted to try and manipulate. All of these words and all of these pictures are fully customizable. So if instead you didn't want to say, let's wear fun hats on Wednesdays, it could say, Absolutely join us. So little pun for your morning here too. So you could, have it, customized to whatever you want. What's really nice is when you have something selected, you can go up to change its color, and all of the other colors exist that have been used. So you'll notice that these are all of like the little costumes that the kids are wearing here down below. It has all of those available to you. So thank you to Amanda. She just gave me the shout out. I was sharing the wrong tab. So what's really nice is that you can customize those out. Now, as you look to upload other things, so let's say, for example, you wanted to add your own icon or you wanted to add something different. Again, you can jump to all of the specific colors. So you'll notice I'm going to come up here to the text color one more time, and it has already looked at my logo. So think about like your own school colors or your own school logos, and it found the exact shade of green and the exact shade of gray and this like light green color. Those are all of the same ones that are located here in this little icon. So it is doing all of the work for you that would take any one of us hours and hours and hours to create. It has done all of that here in a flash. So I know that there are many things like think of S'more, for example. S'more will put your templates out for your newsletters, and you can blast those out to your people. But without talking too poorly on S'more, like they all look the same. Every S'more looks the same. You can only do so much with a S'more. But using something like Canva, you have this entire template gallery waiting for you to create these unbelievable newsletters for your school, for teachers. Maybe it's the teachers that you're trying to enroll. These are all here again, ready and able for you to customize. So again, this is just a newsletter, has a similar feel to like what you might see on S'more, but it's fully customizable for you. So you can add your own logos, you can change your words, no matter what. And now you have a really great one sheet, front and back with just brilliant stuff for you to add to your classroom. So definitely take the time. If you've never been on Canva before, previously in the past, I had always tried to push people to like Google Drawings to do this kind of thing, but it's just, Canva is unparalleled, I think, at the moment, just like I said, for ease of use and for its ability to create all of these things here in a flash. If you have the notes, you'll notice that down in the speaker notes area, I've placed a few different things that I really like, a few templates that I've found really great success with that I think you'll appreciate as a coaching role as well. So definitely make sure that you check out that speaker notes area. I put them down there on this slide so that way I wouldn't jumble up the slide too much. So definitely make sure that you're checking that out too. Okay. As we look to our final section here, and remember, we'll have time at the end where you can ask questions, and we'll open it up to a little bit larger forum. I just wanted to talk a little bit about organizing. So from your schedules to your cycles, your personal organization is super important, and helping to make sure that our teachers are also organized definitely is going to improve their teaching as well. So as we look to increase our productivity by compartmentalizing tasks, this is something that as a coach, when we're working with teachers, one observation that we can make for people is how often they're switching their task types. So is a teacher moving from like planning to grading, and then back to planning, and then checking email, and then grading, and all of the other tasks that may come across for our teachers. This kind of task switching really strains the brain, and it makes people feel overwhelmed when there may not be that many different kinds of things to do, but if you're bouncing around from one thing to another, it can be very, very stressful. So if they are doing this task switching, then we can try to help alleviate some of that by having them just work on just one thing at a time. Try and knock out all of the tasks that deal with similar things. So one of the suggestions that you might be able to give to people is to schedule out like to-do lists on Google Calendar. Those are available there. You could also use different lists on some other apps that we have. So things like Keep, maybe Padlet. There's a whole bunch of other productivity apps that offer similar checklist things. And then definitely encourage people to use their Google Calendars, and maybe they have like different Google Calendars for different things, especially as we look to like using like color codes help a lot of people to stay organized with things. So creatively using those can really help people feel less burdened as they try to task switch. Another thing that we can do is help them manage their mail. I remember one time I was working with a teacher and she said, I think I want to clean up my inbox. And I said, that's a great idea. And so she goes, well, where do you think we should start? And she turned her camera to me and had 31,000 emails in her inbox. That's not an exaggeration. There were literally 31,000 emails, and I about had the big one. Now, I'm not trying to say that you should be at like inbox zero. That's what all the nerds call it. We're not trying to get to that level, but by creatively organizing your inbox and setting up filters, things will be happening for us on our behalf without us having to worry about, finding that email or searching for that email, or, hey, where did that email go? We know it's predictable. All of those things are there and waiting for us. So some suggestions here for our teachers, and for you especially, is we can set up things like canned responses. So this is a feature that you have to turn on within your Gmail. And I'll actually jump over here so that you can see it. This is my Gmail. As you look to create a new email, you can actually like type it out. So you can say whatever you want to here in this space. Maybe it's an email that you frequently send out to teachers, or that, is a frequent response that you might send to a group. And all you have to do is then click on these three dots and then go to your templates. And then you can save this draft as a template. So then you can call it, new coaching cycle. It brings up that template here in the future. You'll do the same thing. So you'll go back to templates. You'll see that named one that you just created where, like I said, it might be called new coaching template, or new coaching cycle. And then it brings all of that back up to the front. So you don't have to worry about like finding that email and, copying it out of one and pasting it into another. You are, just starting up and getting it going. So again, in the speaker notes, I gave you the exact step-by-step for how to make that happen. But know that once you do that settings, that toggle on, that it's that simple. Three dots, start your template and off you go. It's really, really powerful to schedule send. This is something that I always do. That way I know people are getting the emails in a timely fashion. Instead of clicking the send button here, you'll just click the little drop down and schedule send is available for you. So if you have 5 minutes right now that you're not sure you're going to have at the end of the day, but you want a certain parent to get an email at 3 o'clock, you can schedule that send out now so that that person is receiving the email at the exact same time that you want them to receive it. You'll notice that over here, I have a whole bunch of folders as well, and that is our next suggestion. So folders and filters. If you go into your settings and see all settings, you can create these labels that then will help you to organize all of the emails that are coming through. Again, what I really like about this is you can color code all of these. So, maybe if you see a certain email come through and it is carrying that color, it's already gone through your filter system, which is here, filters, then, you already knowing, or you already know what to expect in that regard. So it's already tagged in a certain way so that you're kind of ready and raring to go. As we look to buy more time, we also want to prioritize our commitments. So just kind of as teachers, like our default is yes, like we say yes to everything, especially if it's, for kids, it's really hard to say no. So many times we just need to kind of take a step back and kind of inventory all of the commitments that we have. So things like visual organizers, such as the Eisenhower matrix, can be used to kind of help facilitate that process. By prompting teachers to actually write down all of their commitments on like separate sticky notes and organize them, whether that's like actual tangible sticky notes or whether that's a digital form. We can organize them up into 4 different categories. So here's something that's urgent and important. Here's something that's not urgent and important. Maybe we can schedule a different time for it. Maybe there's something that is urgent but not necessarily important, so that we can like delegate that out to somebody else, or something that's just straight up not urgent, not important. We're just going to eliminate this and stop doing this. So this kind of task encourages our teachers to consider the importance of their current and future commitments, and really helps them prioritize things based on how much importance they give to those tasks. You may want to consider like a booking platform for this as well. And I know I've shared this in the past, but I'm going to bring it up one more time. And that's You Can Book Me. And so I'm going to show you the version of mine and what that looks like. You Can Book Me is a really helpful way to allow people to essentially schedule themselves. So instead of somebody saying like, hey, when are you available? You can have this link shared out. People can see your schedule. All of the grayed out areas are times that I'm busy. All of the like open, like the white, a little bit more clear times are times that I'm available to meet with other individuals. So you get to set things, like you'll notice Saturday and Sundays are unclickable for me because I told it I'm not available on the weekends. And the nice part about this is it's fully linked to your Google Calendar. So people are able to, you can put in your event in your Google Calendar, and then it's automatically going to show up on You Can Book Me. So you don't have to do anything special. You don't have to go into You Can Book Me and say, oh, well, I have this meeting here. It's just automatically linked using your Google Calendar, which is awesome. So it's not one more thing. While we're here, I'm also going to show you this Eisenhower matrix, just so that way you can kind of have a visual for it too. And remember, I said it before, but if you don't have these slides up, please make your way over into the discussion chat so that you can grab these off. But this is based on that Eisenhower matrix. So it allows you to type into these Post-it note areas and then click and drag them over onto this platform. So let's say you had, all of these filled out. You can continue to add those Post-its to kind of schedule things through. So it's a really helpful way to help make sure that people are, thinking about their tasks in an intelligent way that's going to help them kind of clear off their plate and feel a little less cluttered. And then lastly, definitely take control of your digital files. So this isn't necessarily something that I'm going to spend a lot of time on, but one of the things that I see more often than not is that people just have folders just like willy-nilly hanging out on their they have files hanging out willy-nilly on their Google Drive, and they just rely on searching for everything. And it makes me super anxious. So creating folders within folders, color coding here, using some of the strategies that we have just talked about, can definitely help make sure that you're taking control of your digital files and having that really nice, organized system. One of the last things that I wanted to share with you here is a teacher onboarding packet. So again, we talked at the beginning about kind of creating that contract with teachers to say, this is what I am going to do for you. I'm not an evaluator. I'm a collaborator. We have shared goals. Here's what you are agreeing to do as a teacher is really, really helpful. And so that's essentially what this teacher onboarding packet is. This was pulled from the Google Certified Coach program, which I've gone through and I think is excellent. But like I said, this is almost as if it were a contract between you and your teacher, whoever it is that you're trying to work with. So it talks about all kinds of stuff. Know that this, again, you can make a copy of this and customize it to fit your needs. So you can have your own branding on it, your own school logos. You can have your own names. You can, populate it with. You'll see on this slide here, Google uses the 5-step challenge-based coaching model, but know that you can change this up to be whatever you want it to be. And you still have all of these colors with all of these wonderful little icons and everything. It's fully customizable and ready for you. What I really like about this is the final pages here where it talks about those commitments. So as your coach, I'm committing to do the following. As the teacher here, you are committing to do this. And then here's how we know that we're going to have success. This is our checklist. So when we're done, or as we're working together, these are the things that we're going to try and knock out together. So like I said, this resource is really nice to just have like a starting place for you and the coaches that you're working with as you're trying to onboard them or as you're trying to work into that more established coaching cycle. All right, I've been gabbing away for a long time and I really apologize, but I do want to open it up for our open discussion. So I'm going to stop sharing.